Hey troops, what's going on? Welcome to the channel Dit Commando. My name's Ryan and I'm a former Royal Marines Commando who reacts to military related content and the occasional non-military related content, guys, okay? And today we're going to be reacting to how big is the United States of America actually, alright? We've been doing quite well on our American videos of recent, so I'm going to continue with the trend, guys, okay? So hopefully you enjoy this one. If you do, smash that like button, support a veteran out and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, just enjoy it, guys. Drop a comment below and I'll get back to you. But other than that, I just want to say thank you to all of the members on the channel. If you want to become a member, press the join button, and all of my other links to social media will be in the description, guys, including my other channels on there, the Dit Podcast and Dit Gaming. Okay, but without further ado, let's get into this one, guys. I look forward to speaking to you in the comments.
Is currently the world's sole superpower with military installations around the world. As a country, its geography spans from subtropical forests to rolling plains, scorching deserts, and Arctic wastes. But just how big is the US really in comparison to the rest of the world? Hello and welcome to another episode of the Infographics Show. Today, we're taking a look at how big the US really is. The US is approximately 5,680,000 square miles, with terrain that varies dramatically. Only Russia at 10.6 million square miles and Canada at 6,205,000 square miles are larger than the US. Its three biggest states, Alaska at 663,000 square miles, Texas at 270,000 square miles, and California at 160,000 square miles, combined would be the 17th largest nation in the world, immediately after Sudan at 1.15 million square miles, and right before Libya at 1 million square miles. In total, the US is larger than the 107 smallest countries in the world combined.
Wow.
With about 327 million people, the United States is also the third most populated nation on Earth, having a total of 4.28% of the total world population. With a net yearly migration rate of approximately 900,000 people, the US is by far the one place the rest of the world wants to live, with Germany.
Yeah, and I'd agree with that one, guys. I mean, I've been to the United States once when I was in the Royal Marines, and I absolutely loved it. I've been all over the world, like literally all over the world, been to some wonderful places that you'd never get a chance to go to if I wasn't in the military. And America still trumps everything. I absolutely loved it, guys, and I can't. There's not even a phrase strong enough to emphasize how much I loved it over there. I thought it was brilliant, just the way you live, the lifestyle, the culture. I just loved it, troops. I don't know if it's me being British and the bond that Brits and USA has, but I'd live there in a heartbeat, guys. One of my favorite places that I got to visit over there was San Diego. I was in Vegas and in the Mojave Desert and all of that, doing training with the US Marines at the time. And guys, honestly, if someone said to me, "Do you want to move to San Diego and do YouTube full time over there?" I would do it, man. I would do it in a heartbeat, guys.
Germany coming in second at 350,000 migrants, and Turkey in third with 325,000 migrants. In the US, 83% of the population lives in cities, with its three most populated cities being New York City with 8.5 million people, Los Angeles with 4 million people, and Chicago with 2.7 million people. All combined, the population of the US's three biggest cities is equal to the population of Chad with 14.5 million people. Just these three cities alone are also more populated than Cuba with 11.5 million people, Belgium with 11.3 million people, and Greece with 11.2 million people. When counting the greater metropolitan area, New York City is the 10th largest city in the world, with a total population of 18.6 million people, just behind Cairo with 18.8 million people, and just ahead.
Cairo is so condensed, guys. I went out to Egypt back in 2008, and you see that Cairo is it's crazy. All right, you think like you say, some of the states in America, you think some of their cities are busy. You literally can't move in Cairo. I don't know how people survive there. It's crazy.
Ahead of Dhaka with 17.6 million people. This would make the greater New York City area the 63rd largest country in the world, just ahead of Syria with 18 million people. The U.S. is the world's largest economy with a gross domestic product of $20.4 trillion, or 23.3% of the total global economy.
Whoa, I didn't know that. That is crazy. Nearly a quarter of the total global economy. Wow, 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 wow. America's the place to be. It's as simple as that. It's the place to be.
China is just behind the US at $14 trillion and 16.1% of the total.
Now that surprised me. I thought China would have been ahead, but it's not. So, okay, cool. I'm all for that.
Total global economy. When measured by purchasing power parity, or the price of goods and services versus individual incomes, the US comes at number 2 to China, whose GDP PPP is $25.2 trillion. This means that while the Chinese economy is about 30% smaller than the US's, Chinese individuals have on average 20% greater purchasing power in their own country. The three biggest economies within
crazy.
the U.S. states are California with a GDP of $2.6 trillion.
We love Cali. We love Cali. It's the only place I've visited in America, so it's the only place I can kind of put reference to. But you know, once all of the borders open up again, you know, the current crisis we're going through with the pandemic and stuff, I would love to go back to America with my family and show them about, because I just love the place. I would live there, like I said.
Texas with a GDP of $1.6 trillion, and New York with a GDP.
Right, what's Texas like, guys? I've heard loads of different, you know, good and bads with it. What's it like? Let me know in the comments, because Texas seems to be. I've got family in Texas. I would love to go and see like that state, but I've heard mixed reviews about it. Let me know in the comments, guys.
Of 1.5 trillion. Altogether, these three states would be the world's third largest economy, just ahead of Japan with a GDP of $5 trillion. California's economy alone is as big as the United Kingdom's. Texas's is as big as Canada.
Wow, okay, so Cali's is as big as the United Kingdom's. That just shows how small we are in comparison, guys. That's crazy. Look at that. That is absolutely mental.
And New York's is as big as South Korea's. The United States also has the best equipped military in the world, though it's only the third largest at 1,282,000 active duty personnel.
That number, hang on a minute, what was that? What was that number there? 1,282,000. So take away the million bit and it's still bigger than the United Kingdom's. Granted, we're a small country, or small countries, should I say. It's that's crazy, guys. That's crazy. I think you know, Great Britain, I mean, the Royal Marines Commandos active members accounts for anything between a couple of thousand to maximum 6,000 Royal Marines at any given time. That just shows you how small it is. I mean, the US Marines is bigger than Britain's entire military. So, you know, yeah, I'm happy that, you know, the US military is we're on side. At least I'm happy that we're allies, guys, and that we're working together and not apart like we did in the past, because yeah, you can't compete with over 1 million troops. I don't care what you say.
1,000 active duty personnel. Ahead of it are India with 1.4 million active duty personnel and China with 2.1 million active duty personnel.
Thing is, with China's active 2.1 million personnel, you're not getting a soldier of the same caliber as America, you know. So they've got a lot of numbers, but are they really trained to the same standard? Arguably, most of them aren't. All right, most of them are just there for, dare I say it, show. But you know, American troops, they're trained and ready to go, and that's why they're, you know, pretty much dominant all over the world, aren't they? I've had quite a few comments on this on one of my other videos, guys. All right, and you know, it's America. You know, they're not to be messed with, guys. They're dominant all over the world, and rightfully so. You know, they're the world's leading military superpower, aren't they? You know.
The U.S. spends over $610 billion on its military every year, or 3.1% of its total GDP.
That is insanely big. I mean, if you think 610 billion, guys, like the UK is a tiny fraction of that, and it does show. It does show in our kit and equipment and our ability to kind of maneuver across the globe effectively. All right, when I was in the Royal Marines, we were known for not really having the best of kit. We had the best of training through years and years and generations of military training. You know, real hardcore soldiering with minimal kit is what the Royal Marines is all about. But you know, that influx of money would really, really help our military out. You know, because the skill set's there, but you know, the money isn't. And America have got both, so that's why they have a dominating military. They've just got the money and the ability or capability, should I say.
35% of the world's total military expenditure,
Man,
and
that's
more than the
crazy.
next 9 nations combined. Just behind it are China with $150 billion in expenditures and Saudi Arabia with $76 billion in expenditures. The United States also has the most military bases in the most foreign countries in the world, with approximately 800 military installations in 80 countries, possibly more military bases in more foreign lands than any nation or empire in history. The cost of maintaining these bases alone is about $156 billion, more than China spends on its entire military.
That's
On the
crazy.
civilian side, the U.S. has the world's third largest police force, with 913,000 total police officers, placing it just behind India at number 1 with 1.9 million police officers. And China
Hang on, that's not just behind though, is it? 1.9 million police officers for India and China 1.6 million. Wow, that's taking me back, man.
with 1.6
I
million
hope they show the UK's police because you'll get a laugh out of that.
police officers. In the realm
Nah.
of healthcare, the U.S. is the most
Yeah, I don't know the exact number of police in the in Great Britain, but it's pathetic compared to that.
expensive nation on earth, with a health expenditure per capita of $10,350, placing it ahead of Switzerland at $7,900 and Germany at $5,550. While on average the rest of the world spends about 10.3% of its GDP on healthcare, the US spends 18% of its GDP on healthcare. The United States is a large, complex nation, big enough to host several different distinct accents within its own borders. Its people are hardworking and industrious, leading the world's economy. But despite what recent political
Here we go though. Has it got as many accents as Great Britain? I'm from the United Kingdom, the Northeast. Most people would be like, hang on, your accent's not English. We've got a lot of accents in the United Kingdom, guys, and especially in the Northeast of England. You know, there's I can tell if someone's like 1 mile away, lives in a different county to me 1 mile away just by the accent. We've got that many accents.
events might indicate, they're also the most welcoming nation in the world, with 3 times the number of immigrants than nations in either the number 2 or number 3 spot in a global comparison.
The U.S. isn't the only welcoming place in the world. We've never felt more welcomed than when we signed up with Wix to build a website.
Right, and that's that on there, guys. So, how big is the United States actually? I think we can all agree it's bloody big, guys. All right, it's big in every way. It's always been big. You know, when I went to America, even the you go for a meal and the portions are big. I remember I was in Vegas. I can't remember exactly, but somewhere in Vegas, and me and my fellow Marines were out for some food. And we ordered our food, and we were all told to like sit on separate tables, and it was weird. But when the food came out, I understood why, because the whole table, you know, for your own order was full of food. They brought everything out individually because it was that much. So it was like I ordered a steak, just a basic steak and chips and some vegetables. The steak came out on one plate. The vegetables came out on one plate. The chips came out on one plate. The gravy came out in a bowl, and it covered the whole table. I'm thinking, man, this is definitely what we love America for. Everything's big, bold, and yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world, guys. And I'm sure you guys across the pond in America wouldn't change it either. I look forward to the next time I visit America. It's been too long, guys. All right, it's been 7 years since I stepped foot on your wonderful country, and I miss it. I miss it a lot, and I wouldn't mind getting back there soon. So let me know your recommendations where I should visit. I've been to the West Coast, in California, been to all over California, but what's the best state in America? That is the question, guys. Drop me a comment in the comments bit below. But other than that, I hope you liked this one. If you did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Check out all of my other social media platforms in the description. If you want to join the channel, become a member, then please press that join button, and yeah, subscribe to the channel, guys. I really appreciate it. But other than that, I'll see you next time. Peace out.